Welcome to the Dog Chug Podcast. Roger, how you doing?
Andy, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great today. It's Victory Wednesday.
I gotta ask.
How can you not be doing good on Victory Wednesday?
That's exactly right. How did you watch the game on Sunday?
It started out, my day was crazy in the morning. I like to stay busy. I'll usually, like, the leaves are starting to fall. I got two giant, I'll start blowing leaves, anything to get to 1 o'clock and kill time. And I started running out of time. I rush in the house. Next thing I know, it's like noon already. I got to put the wings in the oven. I watched the game with my three sons, and they bounce in and out of the room, playing Switch, PlayStation, and they come in when I yell, with Dawson, Jack, and then I got the 18-month running around. But, sitting watching that game and getting the first W of the year, I thought it'd be a 3-score game. And I think they just put it on. They knew what they can get away with to win that football game, it looked like, defensively especially. Jacob talked about it on Barking Browns, being in a soft prevent and, cover 2 and all that. And I thought it'd be a bigger win, but a win's a win. There's no point in that game where I thought we were going to lose it. And, we walk away with the W, and we're going to get ready for the Bears this weekend. How about you, man? How was the game for you? What you have going on?
The game was amazing, but first I got to get to a point. You said the first win of the year. I think you're forgetting a couple games that took place in January.
You're right.
Pretty sure we beat this
our first
couple of times in January.
I'm getting old, Andy. I'm getting old.
Season is what you meant, right?
What's that? I'm sorry.
You meant the first win of the season.
Yes, the first one of 2021 season. Right, 1 of 17 before the playoffs start again.
Right. I had a great time. Although I don't know if you saw my 6 for 6 challenge that I
saw
completed.
that.
I do want to point out that literally one of the hardest things I've ever done. I didn't eat. I know I've complained about this before, but just go into a little bit of detail. Usually when I do these crazy chugs, after like beer 3, I'm still in pretty good shape. I still feel good. It's when I hit beer 4 that I really start struggling. Well, on this particular occasion, because I hadn't eaten, I realized about halfway through my 3rd beer that I was like wanting to tap out. But I had probably 70 Browns fans cheering me on. They were recording. I can't quit. So I just gutted it out. And then pretty much was miserable for the remainder of the day. I've been counting down the days till we get to play the first game, and I get to go tailgate in the meeting lot. And I was at the game with my buddies, and I was hiccuping like Nick Carnes for pretty much the entire time. Miserable. It was it was fun. But I'd probably tone down the challenges moving forward unless someone double dog dares me. But anyway, had a blast other than that. So I'm glad you did too. When you watch the Browns games with your 18-month-old, does he sit with you for a minute? Does he give you that
what?
Bit of it?
He does. He climbs up on my lap, and he's all over the place. But he has 3 words: no, well, 4, dada, no, baseball, and football. So when I'm watching football, he'll look at the screen and he said, football. So he knows what's going on. And his attention spans.
It's got to make a papa proud.
I'll tell you about the 6-year-old.
Yeah.
The 6-year-old, you got to bring him up as Browns fan. 6-year-old now fall in love with Kareem Hunt. He won that helmet at the football camp. So I called out when Kareem Hunt gets the ball, and I'll back it up a little, and he gets juiced up, he gets amped up. And he's a Browns fan. He's in now because of Kareem Hunt and a signed helmet that he won. And then now it's just up to me to take him the rest of the way, And the same thing with your daughter, you got to bring them up like that.
She's 3. I haven't gotten to watch a game yet with her because why not? She wasn't home for the first game, and then obviously I was at the game. But I cannot wait to watch a game with her. Pretty much last year, she would sit with me for about 3 plays, and then she would want nothing more to do with it. But I'm hoping we can get to like 5 plays this year. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. But, It's you had a great time. I watched the chug. I didn't see no hesitation after 3. You barreled through it like a champ. You're the king. You're the king of the chug. Nobody in Cleveland is dared to even challenge you. They know better. I watched you do it in person.
I appreciate that.
I sat there and watched you chug. What was that? Coors Light that night where you? And
yes,
they just
it's always fun.
So
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to say I was pretty sure everyone that I was with on that occasion that I was tailgating with was like, ugh, I'm gonna have to put up with him for the rest of the day like this. This is terrible. I wish he wouldn't do this. Anyway, whatever. Live and learn, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but we did. We sent our podcast into an app that reviewed it. We got 0 out of 100 score. I did go ahead and submit last week's podcast, and I'm going to check out the report right now. Are you ready?
I'm ready, but I'm a little nervous. They were harsh last. They were harsh,
but we did great last week, so I'm sure the view's going to be amazing.
I got one feeling left, and they heard it last week. So
one feeling left. You're down to
give it to me. Give it to me.
I gotta ask you. You're down to one feeling left. What happens when you lose that one feeling?
I'm hanging on to it, Andy.
Yeah, but if I read something horrible, like, are we going to lose Roger? I need to ask the question.
Well, you know what? I haven't got there yet. I don't know what's going to happen. When that one feeling's gone, I don't know if it's going to be clocked. I don't know. Anything can happen, Andy. It's up in the air.
I'm sure that we did a great job, and the reviews are going to be awesome. So you're actually probably going to get 2 feelings out of this, right?
Yeah.
Right, so let's see. Okay. Oh, wow. We scored better. So we got 2 points. You get 2 points because the benefit of Ed talking so much meant we didn't have to listen to you two drone on as much. Ooh.
Oh, my God.
I mean, we made the decision to have Ed on, so I'm taking that as a compliment. All right. Reading on. The chemistry between you two co-hosts is off the charts, but like on the floor in the garbage. It's almost like the co-hosts are doing 2 different podcasts at the same time. That one hurts. Finally, we have one final comment. The dog chug is humanity's last hope. Well, that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
When machines inevitably rise up against humans and you're on the brink of extinction, play this podcast and they'll all self-terminate.
There's some positives there.
Okay, I think we're going to lose this bit for week 4, but anyway.
What do we rate? What is there a rating?
We got 2 points out of 100, so we're on the way up.
Andy, if we continue weekly getting 2 points by the end of the round season, I mean, we're going to be in the 20s.
We'd easily be in the 20s. Interestingly enough, I put Jacob and Nick's first podcast through the algorithm, and they actually scored a 47 on their first one. So we're catching up. We're catching up, right?
They're show-offs, Andy. They're show-offs.
All right. Now, to continue the nonsense, we are going to continue to try and get our beer sponsorship. I don't know if anyone remembers, but we're really trying hard to get some money coming to the dog chug. So we like to drink beer. So we're trying to get beer sponsorship. Last time we reviewed Vlad from Royal Docks Brewing Company. They did not offer us a sponsorship. So we're going to go a little bit closer to home this week. Roger, why don't you shout out what we're going to review tonight?
All right. What we got tonight is from Great Lakes Brewery. And it's the Tidal Fury Imperial Hazy. Great Lakes Brewery, 2516 Market Street. Andy, I love a hazy. From May up until the kickoff of the Browns' first game, I'm on the hazy IPAs. And Look at that thing, huh? That's beautiful.
Beautiful pour.
That is. You know, Andy, right around the corner from the brewery there's a barber college. Look at that.
A barber college?
There's a barber college. Yeah, I'd go in there. I'd get a high and tight for $5, and you get every nickel's worth of $5 a haircut too over there. And then I'd go sit over at the pub there, and I'd the brew, yeah, and I'd have some Dorks, some Edmonds. I'd go there with a lot of people. You know, they originally bottled the beer when they originally started bottling it. My brother and I and some, we went in there and we piped all that. Piped their original bottling line. When the labels are screwed up, they give us cases of beer. They couldn't sell it, so they sent it home with us. Here, take it. My kitchen was stacked with Great Lakes beer. Wow. It was the 90s. It was a beautiful time. It was just free love back then. All right, this is look at the color of this thing. It's beautiful. You know.
I think you got to bring your glass around. We can't see it.
Let me see here. I'm going to tell you what they say. It says it's mighty, it's swirling citrus storm and rolling waves of passion fruit. It's a 8% alcohol beer with a 40 IBU. This thing, tropical fruit aromas, rushes from the cloudy depths. This Imperial Hazy IPA, brewed with the epic blast of Trident hops, is fit for a king, Andy. I've never had it. I've had every beer Great Lakes made except for maybe 3 or 4, and this will be the first time I'm trying this. Man, that's good.
What do you think?
Good fruity zip to it. But Andy, I'll tell you, I'm no expert. You know more about beer than me. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think? Give it a try.
I'm waiting for your review. I want to hear what you think.
It's got a good citrus flavor to it. Look at the color. I love not being able. You know what? When you have canned hazy, you got to put it in a glass and let it settle. You know, you got to let that haze. You try to drink out of a can, it's not the same thing. Drink it out of a glass, and it's a totally different experience. This thing is, man, that's a good beer, real good beer. But like I said, I'm not a professional. You know,
I think I already see the money pouring in. You've literally just convinced the masses we need to have
Great Lakes. I think I just got an email from them.
They're throwing money at us. All right, I'm going to try it and I'll see what I think. All right, fair enough.
All right.
Sorry, I have a Band-Aid on my finger, by the way. I got bit. Here we go.
Just a sip, man. Just.
It's all right.
It's all right. It looked like you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. It was all right. It's a good beer. I always enjoy drinking beer around.
Well, I'll tell you what. If somebody wants us to peddle our beer, we know how to peddle their beer. We know how to do it over here.
We do know how to peddle beer, and I think we need to infuse some energy on the show. So it is my pleasure to bring on our first special guest, the amazing, the incredible Mike in the 330.
Hey guys, how are you?
What's going on, Mike?
Me. Hey, Andy, Roger, thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, it's our pleasure to have you on our stupid show. What rating would you give the first 20 minutes of this on a scale from 0 to 100?
I love the beer review. It's great. It's nice to see you enjoying the beer, Andy. That's great.
Are you running out to the store right now to buy Tidal Fury Great Lakes?
I'm going to get on, as soon as we're done here, I'm getting on Great Lakes' website and try and order me a case.
There you go, Great Lakes Brewery. This is live proof that our word matters.
Right. No.
So, Mike, we're so excited to have you on.
Thank you. Me too. I'm glad to be here.
I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Obviously, you're down in the Akron area.
I'm actually in the same area that Roger is. I'm in Cuyahoga Falls.
Cuyahoga Falls, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike's the guy down the street. Don't take his trash cans in. Trash
That's
pickups
right.
on Monday. That's Mike.
Exactly.
Right down the road.
You gotta knock him over. Just knock him over. He'll get the job done.
We all talk about him. We all talk about him all the time. Hey, Mike.
Yes.
You know, Mike and I first started talking a little bit, like really talking is you had that accident on Howard, didn't you?
On where? Oh, on Howard?
Did you weren't you in a car accident at one time?
Oh, no, I wasn't in a car. I was in a car accident many years ago, but that was out east on that was out on I-90 East near the Route 44 exit. That was many years ago.
Maybe we were talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
But we started talking, Andy, Mike and I in the 330, and figured with that, obviously, he was down here in Sonoma County somewhere. And, you know, we became pretty good friends there. And that's kind of why, you know, what we're about. You know, the people I meet get a chance to actually meet. If we some of them people that want to come on here, that's awesome. Mike, I want to thank you for being with us. Andy's going to run us through this here.
Okay.
Well, we just have a couple questions. First of all, how often do you get to make it to a Browns game?
Me, not very often. It's just for me, it's really actually economical, and the cost of the tickets.
Sure,
me, a little bit out of my price range.
That's why you got to go to games. You know, 2017 era, week 15, then you can usually go for like $10.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably back in those days, you know, you could, you know, get them really easily. But last one I went to was a Steelers game. God, I don't even remember what year. I think it was Mike Patton was the coach at the time. It was blistering cold. And we were actually in the dog pound, but way up on the second level there. And halftime came. Browns were losing. We went down into the concourse area, and I was with my cousins. And somehow I got separated from them. And that's just like a sea of people. So they were, we got, you know, separated. Next thing I know, I'm trying to call them. I went all the way down to the main concourse. Can't find them. Can't get even a hold of them. Finally get a hold of them. I'm like, you know, I get a hold of my cousin. He's like, yeah, we're in a cab. I said, well, where's the cab? Now I decided, you know, I'm going back to where we originally met. And that was at the Flatiron Cafe.
All right.
So I'm like, okay, you're in a cab. Like, you have the cab driver come pick me up.
Yeah.
You know,
makes
sense. Oh, well, we're already on our way there. And I'm thinking, you do know I'm still here at the stadium, right?
Oh, my God.
Oh, you are? Yeah. I said, now I got to try and find a cab. And I couldn't find one. So I ended up walking from the stadium to the Flatiron.
Wow.
Freezing cold out, too. Yeah, I mean, this was mid to late November, so it was brutal.
I'm not familiar where Flatiron is. How many blocks would you say that is?
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, it was a pretty good hike, but I mean, I was dressed obviously for the weather. I had a stocking cap, heavy coat, bundled up underneath. But I mean, it was like,
right.
I just looked at my cousins when I got there. I'm thinking, when they finally got there, they saw me as I was walking into the place through the window, and he's like, "Oh, there he is." I'm thinking, yeah, I'm surprised I don't have icicles coming off of my nose, guys. You know what I mean? It's like,
they buy you
you didn't come pick me up. I was like, God, thanks a lot.
Why did you throw the thumb?
What's that?
Why did you throw the thumb out? Hit your ride.
Oh, I don't know. I think I was just at that point. I was just saying, you know what? I tried finding a cab, and I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna walk. What the hell with it? I'm just gonna go.
I probably wouldn't pick you up if I seen you walking down the street. I probably just
I wouldn't blame you.
You probably end up having to take a cab anyway.
So a good
That's
decision.
just an observation.
So
From
you have, you have really good family, obviously, that
Yeah, they're
doesn't
great.
care about you at all. They're just like, he'll fucking find his way. That's
But
awesome.
no, that's probably the last ball game I went to. But I mean, I watch on television. I listen to Browns Daily, and I pay attention. I go on the app and I read the articles and such like that. Cleveland.com also. So I try to stay as well informed as I can. So
Nice. Well, you have great takes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
What
it.
was the hardest part of surviving that kind of Hugh Jackson era?
I would have to think. I'd have to say his arrogance. I think. I mean, as a person, he's done a lot for his charities. I believe it was with human trafficking.
Yes.
He's a person. He's a decent man. He's a good man. But as a head football coach, he was atrocious. I mean, you went one game in 2 years.
But you were able to hold on to your Browns fandom through that.
Oh, that's my fandom. Like I probably put out on Twitter, is blood, body, bone, and soul. I'm not, coaches come and go. I mean, it's just
a little bit longer than I would have.
And he stayed way too long than I would. I don't know how you lose every game. Win one game, they bring you back. You lose every other. I mean, I don't know how he kept the locker room with that, even through 1-15.
He did keep the locker room, some of it though. I don't know.
I mean,
anyway,
to me, he was his arrogance. He would throw. I mean, there was one press conference I know, at least at one, he threw some of his coaches under the bus. I mean, I just try to block all that whole part out. I mean, I wouldn't kind of like. I don't like to throw stones too much, but it's like even with Johnny Manziel, I never cared for him. When they drafted him, I was like, okay. We had a whole laundry list of quarterbacks that have come and gone. So I was like, then he named him the starter. All right, show us what you got. You did all this jiving, running around in college. Well, school's out, son. And I just had a bad feeling about him from college, though. With like when he started with that whole money sign nonsense, I was like, you're in the pros.
Yes.
These guys are grown men. They're adults. They have families. This is a job. Better grow up, And he was just to me a little too immature for the pro level, And then everything that followed with that too. But I mean, it's just you see it totally the opposite with Coach Stefanski. He's his humility is there, but his wisdom and his knowledge is there too, and he brings it out. He shows it in his press conferences and in his team. You see him in the team meetings and when they're in the huddle. Like they showed at the video of it right after the game. Did we play our best game? No. Did I coach my best game? No. But I mean, he at least acknowledges, hey, I made mistakes, guys. We all made mistakes in this game. We were fortunate to come out with the victory, but we got to get better. And there's areas where they've got to get better. They have got to get better, and especially on the defensive side. It's without a doubt.
Amen.
I agree with you, Mike. And the thing about what kills coaches and GM. And Kevin Stefanski's confident, but I don't see ego. I don't see ego maniac. I don't see that. Look at Urban Meyer down there in Florida this week when they asked him, "Were you coached?" This piece of work, no, I don't think I was out coached. In other words, my players just blew the game. It wasn't me. You'll never hear that from Kevin Stefanski.
That's not a good way.
Today I heard him say it wasn't just one guy. It's a team thing, and he's a team, the players and the coaches. The coaches are part of the team, and that's something that we've never had before. He considers himself a teammate, not any better, not any worse. What we have is you said coaches come and go. You said earlier, I don't think Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski here to stay.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And you know why? Because he's confident, not an egomaniac.
Yep.
I'm going to drink to that.
And he's competent. He you just listen. I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't 100% sold at first when they hired him. I mean, here we had Freddie Kitchens, a guy who had no experience as a head coach. They fire him, and they bring in another guy who had no experience as a head coach. I didn't know anything about this guy other than what they had in his bio. You know, to me, it's the same with the quarterbacks. You got to prove it. You got to prove it here. I mean, we've had a revolving door of coaches and a revolving door of quarterbacks. Show us what you got. I mean, I mean, as much as I do love Baker. I respect this kid. He's really shown a lot for me. But I mean, I wasn't 100% sold. I mean, I've seen too many bad quarterbacks and coaches to be 100% sold yet. I mean, and the only way you're going to prove it to me is not going to be in speeches so much. It's going to be in wins, plain and simple. Can you win? And I don't care how you win. I don't care if you win and it was 2-0, you scored a safety, and nobody scores anything for the rest of the game. At the end of the 60 minutes, all that matters on that scoreboard is that there's more points in our favor than the other team. That's it.
Right.
So there's no style points like in college where with your rankings, if you beat a team 77-0 or 77-3, you get moved up to the third spot or the top 4. No, none of that. There's no poll.
All right, so Mike, I got to ask you a question on that one because that's a very interesting point. I would say they went into this game against the Houston Texans saying, we know we can win this game. So let's just prepare the most boring way to do it because it's 100% guaranteed we're going to win. And that's what they did, and I think a lot of Browns fans are now disappointed. Are they kind of harking back to like the Cavs of the 90s when didn't we played a very boring game that won and they fired Wilkins? Is it kind of the same thing? Or is football different? I mean, football wins are so much more important, right? Anyway, I've said a lot. Talk about it.
Well, in basketball. I mean, you got 82 games in a season. So if you lose a few, it's not the end of the world. Just like in baseball or in hockey.
Basketball, you want to win.
There's a smaller window in football. So I mean, you've got to win, and that's just it. I mean, there's no other way around it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter if you win 3-0 on a field goal. I mean, remember they were showing it recently on Twitter. I've seen a few pictures and videos. It was last week even too of that snowball game against Buffalo. Where I don't even remember what the final score was, but I remember even you couldn't do anything on offense.
I think it was 6-3. I got so drunk in that game.
I don't know if I might have went to a game I know I went to a game like that where it was a blizzard. We parked in the Muni lot, and the only way you could see the stadium was there was a glow of white lights along the horizon from the stadium lights. You could not see the stadium from the Muni lot. And so that's how hard it was coming down, and it was freezing cold. So I mean, you're not gonna see a game where it's gonna be 42 to 35 in weather like that. I mean, so you got to be ready, especially in Cleveland when you got the wind blowing in there, and I mean, you look at the weather as a factor. It's not like we got in Dallas or something. You got a roof over your head, or and the conditions are right. It's not like we're playing in Miami. You got sunshine or LA. You got wind. You got lake effect snow. Ice. I mean, it's like Lambeau, same place. The winds are coming in. You got to be ready for it. Where your kicking game is going to be a huge factor, and your running game is always a huge factor. I think that's part of the reason why historically the Browns have always tried to get good running backs. Because you can't always, November, December, you can't always be able to sling that ball all the way to 50 yards down the field to a wide receiver. You're going to need to be able to have those guys up front that can push the defense out of the way, break open holes, and get the ball towards the 9-yard to gain or the end zone. And you're going to need those guys, those running backs. That's why it's great we have two running backs that are so darn good. That's what helps. It's a 1-2 punch, and I have no problem if they rotate those guys in and out because, like it said, fresh legs feed the wolf. You know, I mean, you bring in Hunt for a couple plays, bring him out, bring in Chubb, boom. You know,
Hopefully,
it's a great combination.
Ernest Johnson, because he's also looked phenomenal. Right?
Demetric Felton, my God. He broke off that 33-yarder
Hey,
for a touchdown.
You know,
Sorry, Roger,
I heard today about Demetric Felton, and he only had touched the ball 3 times. Let's go back to a running back who came in and touched the ball once or twice a game when they wanted to rest Carlos Hyde. And what did he do with the football when he came into the game? And he wasn't getting Hugh Jackson. Ego. He wasn't going to get that starting role. Dorsey had to trade Carlos Hyde to put the football in Nick Chubb's hand. When I see Demetric Felton touch the ball 3 times, things happen. He's a football player. Nick Chubb touched the ball a couple times when he was backing up Carlos Hyde. He went 98 yards or something. What a ridiculous run again.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah.
Demetric Felton showed a flash. And this is the thing. You put a football player out on the field for 3 plays, and they do that. And then he had a couple kickoff returns where he battled for yards. That's what I want to see. You got a linebacker like Mac Wilson. We're on year 3, and we finally can tackle a guy and not get dragged 4 yards, and everybody's losing their mind. I want to see it right now. You know, you see them flashes, Koromoa. You know, you see the flashes. You know, I don't want to see Mac Wilson getting dragged for 4 yards when he's a third-year pro or 4. You know, 3 plays, he made something happen. Let's see him get the ball. Let's see 10 plays. Let's see him in there for 10 plays. And I think that's the kind of player that we have in Demetric Felton.
I love when Roger gets angry. Jacob is watching, and he said,
"Hey, Jacob,"
and I think I'm going to turn this into something fun. Sunday, I'm wearing my OBJ jersey. How many touchdowns does he have, and why is it 2? I am a huge OBJ fan. Obviously, Jacob is way more on record with this, but I'm gonna make this fun. If OBJ has 1 touchdown, Jacob, after the game, let's see. What? Sorry, I'm trying to come up with this on the fly. You can see my mind twirling. Anyway, point is, after the game, the loser is going to chug a beer. So if he has 1 touchdown, I will chug a beer. If he has 0 touchdowns, Jacob, you will chug a beer. Deal?
Hey, listen, Andy will put a wager on anything.
Well, I mean, we're trying to have fun here, right? Okay.
Hey.
I think we need to move the show along because we're getting behind schedule. So one of my favorite bits is when I get outclassed by my daughter. We're gonna actually take 3 random games, and we're with the spread, and we're going to take a side, and we're going to explain why we're taking the side. My daughter picked 3 games, NFL games, and she picked a side. She's 3, so she doesn't know what she's doing. She's literally just pointing at something. I do want to update the score because this is phenomenal. I literally opened this bit 2 weeks ago saying that I'm horrible. So here's the scores where we're at right now. Mike, you're representing the fans, so you're going to pick 3 games along with the other 2 fans so far. The fans so far have gotten 4 out of 6 right, so they've done pretty well. If you bet those, you'd be up. Roger is in the lead. He has actually gotten 5 out of 6 of these random games correct, which is phenomenal. Krista, my daughter, is 3 for 3, which is pretty average. That's what you, I guess, expect if you're picking randomly. I opened this bit saying I'm terrible. I literally have I actually also said, bet against me and you'll win money. I have gone 0 for 6. I have literally picked 6 losers out of 6 opportunities, which is phenomenal. So for the 4 people that have been watching this that didn't go out and bet against my picks, shame on you. Shame on you. So we're going to open up the envelope. We're going to find out which of the 3 games Krista picked. My wife helps Krista pick the games, so I have no idea what they are. So So the first game that we are all going to make a decision on is the Bengals at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 3-point favorites. So I'm going to start with you, Mike.
Wow, only
Who would you
3.
pick?
I'm gonna go. They're at Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go with that team from PA. I as much as I don't like them, I mean they're still the Steelers, and I think with Cincy they got this things that they got to work out yet, but I'm gonna go with that team from PA.
My buddy Joe just sent Chug a Banana. I will do that next week, Joe. Thank you. All right, Roger, where are you going with Bengals at Pittsburgh -3?
First of all, I want your wife to take Pittsburgh and Baltimore off the list that your daughter points at, because I hate picking the Steelers or the Ravens to win a game, and I almost absolutely refuse to do it, but I'm 5-1, and I don't want to break that record. And Joe Burrow threw 3 interceptions in a row, 3 consecutive passes. Pittsburgh's defenses, they're going into the – you got to take Pittsburgh. I got to take Pittsburgh because I want to continue to Andy, isn't it like at the end, whatever, I get like free beer or something out of this? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You'll get free beer.
Well, right. I'm taking the Steelers.
I'm also taking the Steelers.
I hate it. I hate it, but I'll take the
Steelers because I think the Bengals are just an inept organization. I think the Steelers are a failing organization. And I guess I think failing is slightly better than inept. Krista also picked the Steelers. So we're all in agreement on this. Last time we were all in agreement. We picked we all picked the Seattle Seahawks last week, and we were all wrong.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll be the case this time. Okay, game number 2 that we're all picking, it's going to be the Packers at the 49ers, and the 49ers are actually giving 3.5 points.
Okay.
We're going to start with Roger, obviously, because I started with you first, Mike.
Am I going first or Mike?
No, Roger, you're gonna go first, which is why I said you're gonna go first.
Man, I'm going to take the 49ers at home.
Okay.
49ers at home.
Actually, do you want to make this funny or compelling in any way instead of just saying I'm going to take the 49ers?
It's hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, but if you're going into San Francisco, and I hate betting against the home team, but what's the spread? What are they giving?
The 49ers are actually giving 3.5. So the Packers are giving 3.5 points.
I know. I'm going to take the 49ers at home and give Green Bay 3.5. I don't know why. I just got a feeling. I think I'm going to take San Francisco. I think Green Bay, San Francisco is a lot better opponent this week than the Detroit Lions. And they may have looked like all-stars, but week 1, they didn't look too good. And I think it's going to level out a little bit for them, and I'm going to take the 49ers.
Fair enough. I am also taking the 49ers, and I'm only doing it because I'm trying to catch up with Roger. All right, Mike.
I'm leaning more to 49ers. I mean, I know Roger brought up a good point. It's hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers because he's such an efficient quarterback. And I got him on my fantasy team along with Kittle out of San Francisco. But if I don't know what the Niners defense looks like. I mean, aside from having, I think it was Bosa on there, but I mean, they have what isn't like their front line. I don't know if they still have all of them on the defense. Weren't they all number 1 draft picks? So I mean, if they're all still there, and if you can get to Rodgers, you got a chance to win. That's the big thing. It's why I think my biggest thing was with the Kansas City game. If you can get to Mahomes, you get a better chance of winning. But I think, I mean, I'm just, like I said, Roger, agree with him and you guys. It's a kind of a gut feeling. I think going out to Frisco, I think the Niners had a good chance this week. I'm going with 49ers.
All right, fair enough. Final game we're going to do is the Jets.
Should be a good game.
Yes, it's going to be a great game.
Fun game to watch.
Final game is Jets at Broncos. Oh, by the way, my daughter actually picked the Packers, so she was the lone dissenter on this one. All right, final game. Jets at Broncos.
Well, another.
Yes, Roger.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jets at Broncos. Broncos are giving 10.5 points to the Jets. The Jets have to go all the way up to, Denver's million-mile stadium or whatever. But 10.5 points. So we're going to start with me because that's how we do this. I'm picking the Jets. I'm taking 10.5 points. I hate the Broncos. I want to bet against them any chance I get. And if I get 10.5 points against the 2017 Browns, I'm taking it. So I'm definitely taking the Jets here. No doubt. Next is Mike.
I'm going to go with the Broncos, I think. I think they got a lot of weapons there that, I think was it Bridgewater's the QB, I think. And I got that Melvin Gordon. I got him on my fantasy team too. He can play. So I mean, I think I might lean with the Broncos on this one. I think it's Jets. They got a lot of work they need to do. I mean, there's a lot there. They're I don't want to sound bragging, but they're almost where we were at a few years ago. So I think that. I think we'll go with Denver on this one.
All right. And Roger?
You know what? I don't even know who the quarterback for the Denver Broncos is.
Nor does most of the fans in Denver.
I mean, I know I'm being facetious in a way. You know what? The Denver Broncos handed the keys to John Elway. And remember when, like, this, how many years were we in flux with this organization? We had fans saying, "We need a GM." The greatest thing they ever did is give poor Bernie that burden of being a GM. John Elway don't know what the fuck he's doing in Denver. Denver's probably the worst they've ever been in their history, other than when they were a startup franchise. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to take the points in Mile High. Fuck the Broncos. Fuck the drive. Fuck the fumble.
Whoa.
I'm taking the Jets and points.
All right.
Fair enough.
That's the call, Anthony.
Krista took the Broncos, so, I mean, she might get grounded tomorrow for all I know.
I do like Ed in Columbus's comment about how Kevin Arnold on the Wonder Years wore a Jets jacket. Broncos.
Hey, Andy.
That's good. I like that, Ed. Winnie Cooper is amazing. Broncos as well.
Yes, Roger.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. We're going to introduce our newest segment, but before we do, we're going to bring in our featured guest. Yes, that is correct. Mike, you are the what do they call, like, the guest that comes on before the featured guest? I don't know. Point is, we're bringing Jessica on because having women on is way more.
The headliner?
The headliner,
yeah,
yes.
There you go.
You're the headliner, Mike, but we're bringing on the featured guest now. Jessica, welcome to the Dog Jug.
Thank you. What's up?
Hi, Jessica.
Hey.
Jessica in Oklahoma.
That's right.
Oklahoma. Yes, that's
You almost got me to sing there. It's just close.
Still waiting. How many IPAs did you have? Enough to sing?
I told you, the nuns told me to leave grade school. I don't sing.
All right, so
they're warmed up.
I'm actually bringing you all on. We haven't had 4 people on at the same time. I think I'm wrong about that. I think we had 4 on last time. But point is, we're going to do the newest innovation at the Dog Chug, a little game that we are going to call Spit, Sip, or Chug. And by the way, Ed completely came up with that amazing name. I cannot take credit. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with a topic. We're all going to go around and have a chance to say whether you would spit that topic. In other words, you think whatever we're talking about is spit worthy. It's not good. It's bad. Sip means you're kind of tepid about it, or you're going to chug it because you think it's on the up and up. Everyone understand?
Okay.
No, not
Anyone
at
have
all.
any questions? Okay. So
About 4 of them.
question number 1, and we're going to start with Jessica, and we're going to go clockwise from there. As far as the screen's concerned, Roger, I've kept myself to the top right, which is what you've asked, right? I don't know if I'm
You're
actually
doing
there
good.
on yours. Okay.
You're doing beautiful.
Okay.
Our Dog Chug. Yeah.
Question number 1. Miles is at 1 sack, and the entire defensive line as a whole is only at 2 sacks for the season so far. Are you spitting, sipping, or chugging that the defensive line is going to get it together? Jessica, let's start with you.
Do I think they're going to get it together? Yeah, I definitely think they're going to get it together.
Well, you're chugging.
But I'm chugging then.
All right, and why?
Because I think they're still just kind of working things out, trying to figure out what they're doing. I've seen Clowney make some really impressive plays, taking down people in the backfield. So, I mean, I really think it's all going to work out. I think it's fine. They were kind of, I don't know if they've really been playing conservative or what, but I think they're going to get it together.
Okay. Well, I hate to be similar to Jessica. Not that I disrespect her opinion. I just don't want to bore our audience. However, I'm going to pretty much piggyback on what you're saying. I think our coverage has just been so soft that, I was at the game and I saw our guys got so close to the rod so many times we just couldn't get there because there was always an open guy. As soon as our coverage gets better, we are going to get some crazy sacks. It's going to be amazing. So I am also chugging. I love to chug. So here we go.
How was I supposed to really drink after that?
No, you don't have to drink, but I mean, I'm encouraging it, obviously.
I have one.
Mike.
I'll say chug. I think there's enough leadership on this defense. You got guys like Miles, you got a guy like Clowney that they are, and then you have when he comes back, you got the guy quarterback in our defense, Walker. There's enough guys there that are going to they can bring these guys together, and that's why I'm kind of glad in a way we're not playing any of our division rivals. So the first one we face will be a team from PA on Halloween. By then, I'm knock on wood. I'm hoping you're starting to see it come together, and Miles brought it up a good point in interview in the post game. He said, other than him and Gustafson, there's on that defensive line, everyone's new, and it's just not a cohesiveness right now. But I could see it developing. I could see it that it will. I have more faith in the players that will bring this together as the season goes, and that's why I'm glad we're not facing the division rivals till almost pretty much the second half of the season, because that will give it time to come together. I wouldn't want to have faced any of the, especially that team from Maryland. I wouldn't want to face them right away. I mean, that way they played against Kansas City. Hey, love them or hate them, they played a hell of a ball game, and their defense made the play to win that game. So I'd rather have us going against them a little further on down when the team is meshed together. So I'm chugging that one down.
Mike, I love it. You're like a more slow talking Ed in Columbus. So, congrats.
Slow and steady wins the race.
That's right. Roger, where are you at?
I'm definitely chugging, and I'm going to tell you why.
Oh,
First of all, I haven't seen any defensive linemen running any sort of particular. Now they're just playing vanilla defense. I think in week number 1, what I think that the goal was, without showing too much, I don't think that the defense is in full swing yet. I don't see anybody running any stunts. One thing I wish they would do is stop dropping Clowney and Myles Garrett into coverage. It drives me nuts. Those guys they shouldn't even have reverse on their gear shift. There should just be 100% penetration into the backfield. But the other thing about it in the NFL is the numbers, quarterback hurries. I think that sacks are an archaic stat. I think hurries and pressures are more important because quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball a lot faster nowadays. Than when Strahan was dragging people down. That we're sitting back there for 17 seconds. I think the defensive line is going to be just fine. Clowney does his job. I saw a play. It was third against Kansas City where he chased Mahomes to the sideline, sealed the edge. Yeah. That's doing his job. We brought Clowney in to seal the edge and to play against the run, not to get sacks. I think the defensive line is going to be fine. I'm chugging on that one, Andy.
All right, chug. I'm going to chug with you. Sorry, that was William Chug. All right, number 2, which I'm going to start. Baker is looking like a game manager with incredible completion. Jesus. Sorry, I'm a little drunk. Baker is looking like a game manager with incredible completion percentage, but 1 touchdown, and looking like a game manager 2 games in. So are we sipping? Spitting, sipping, or chugging on this one? I'm going to start this off with I'm a little concerned with, is Baker going to have an elite season? I am not so sure because we're so relying on the running game. I think I'm going to sip on this one. I think Baker's going to have a good season, maybe not a great season. Mike, you're up.
I want to say sip, but the thing for me, though, is the words game manager. I don't see him as a game manager. I mean, he's got so much fire in his gut. I mean, he threw that interception. What was it on the next possession? Wasn't that the one where he ran the ball in and then for the score, I believe? I mean, that young man, and I've seen it from last year to this year. You watch him even in interviews. He's matured much more, in my opinion. Just the way he carries himself in an interview. I think he could have a big year this year. He's got a few more weapons now. He's got a whole year where he's had a preseason. He's had training camp. They've said, like, even on the broadcast the other day on the game, he's much more comfortable now in this system. The sky's the limit with this young man as far as what he can do. So I'm gonna say chug because I think he can get it done. I think this young man's got what it takes. He's got enough fire in his gut, and that's sometimes what you need.
All right, let me ask you this really quick. Yes or no answer, please. Will he have 29.5 touchdowns over or under this season?
It's really a yes or no question.
29 this season?
29.5. Will he have over or under this season?
I want to say under, but I do.
All right, Roger. Roger, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Andy, I'm chugging on number 6.
Oh, nice. You're chugging.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because the kid, he threw that football. It was picked off Sunday. Did you see him lay that block on the blitz? Did you see him lay that block where he took the kid down with one arm?
Yeah, that was nice.
One arm. We come out of the locker room. He's walking down the sideline. Like, he just popped out of place. Don't worry. Popped it back in. I'm going back out there. Number 6 is going to go out there, and he's going to battle. The one thing about it, though, is that Stefanski's very meticulous in his play calling. Baker Mayfield distributes the football. Look at the tight ends, the receptions. We had 3 tight ends in the grading system, which I don't really know. don't pay enough attention to Jacob that I should because he gives me all the information. I forget it. But we had 3 tight ends in the top 10 this week. Baker Mayfield, I'm chugging on Baker Mayfield. He's not just going to be a quarterback that, like you said, is at the end, get us through the playoffs and be a late fantasy pick. You know what? He may be. He may be because he's got Chubb and Hunt in the backfield. He don't need to throw for 400 yards. I'm going to chug on Baker Mayfield.
All right. I feel like okay. Okay. Anyway, we'll move on. Jessica.
So I don't know so much about the game manager, but he's definitely a leader, and he's a leader on and off the field. I've noticed he's definitely matured a lot since he's been there. I know we're kind of talking about his passing, I guess you would say, but I don't know. I fully support him because he gets the ball where it needs to go. And
Love him.
I mean, there were a couple plays where obviously, Anthony Schwartz is young, still figuring everything out. He's missed a couple of passes because he kind of stopped what he was doing. I think as soon as everybody gets in line, so to speak, on the wide receiver thing, I think that we'll be making more passes and completions. So, I mean, I guess that means I'm chugging, I guess.
You're chugging. Nice.
I'm chugging.
By the way, I don't know if anyone knows, but Browns fans, we're homers. We are homers.
I'm a big homer.
All right.
Big homer.
Question number 3. We're going to start with you, Mike. Browns wide receivers had such fantastic offseason, looking deadly, but 2 games in, we kind of looked ordinary. Are you spitting, sipping, or chugging on the Browns wide receiver core? Go.
I'm going to say chugging. These guys are, look, we haven't seen Odell yet, and we all know what he can do. Jarvis, he's down. He's not out. You would have to bury that guy from the neck down underground under cement to keep him from being able to play. He will chew through wrought iron steel to get to get on a field. So, and you got those 2 guys are great leaders. Now you got Higgins. This kid's proven he can play. And when he gets into a rhythm with Baker, look out. That's a nice combination. DPJ, he shined in training camp. Now you got to really show it in game time. But yeah, the kid proved to me last year he can play. So now you got 4 guys there that to me have already shown they can play at this level. Now then you add in Schwartz. He's a rookie. Yes, he did make a huge mistake on that interception. It should not have been. He should have went after that ball. And he got an earful from it, and he knows he was in the wrong. The thing is, he's a rookie. Did he learn from that mistake? Hopefully, yes. So now you got 5, and the kid's speed is phenomenal. What was in that game against Kansas City? He broke open and made that beautiful catch out in the open field. He left that defender in another area code. He couldn't. There was no way he was going to catch him. Had he not fallen down, that's 6 points. So now, you're loaded. Then you look at the tight ends. All 3 of those tight ends had a great game Sunday. So, all 3 of them, again, those guys have proven. You know what you're getting in Hooper. Chief, you know what you're getting with him. And then you got all right.
This question's about the wide receivers. We can't bring in the tight ends into the mix. We're waiting.
I look at them as eligible receivers. That's why. But yeah, I do think the wide receivers will do
wide receivers. Sorry.
I'm chugging on.
Love it. Mike, I love the answer. I'm gonna chug with you. Roger, let's see if you can make this question go on for 14 minutes or we can do less. Let's go.
Eddie, what's your definition of spit exactly?
Spit means that you think that we're Cleveland is overvaluing and you actually believe it's actually worse than we believe than we believe. So in other words, you want
listen.
Okay, let me say it like this: if you're a stockholder in a company, do you want to buy more? Do you want to stay with what you own, or do you want to sell? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, and you know what? I'm spitting. I'm gonna tell you why, because this offensive system isn't based on the
Hot
wide
take
receivers.
alert.
And the reason is because this people think that the offensive system is based on the running back, and that's not true either. Kevin Stefanski's system runs through the tight ends. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Hooper, we'll get rid of him next year." I don't think so. I think next year, I think that our wide receivers in this system and Baker Mayfield being a quarterback are interchangeable. Look at him; he had Perryman in 2018. I think next year we're going to see Schwartz, DPJ, and Hollywood as our number 1, 2s, and 3s. I think that the wide receiver position, obviously, we're not going to win without wide receivers. I'm not going to say that. We learned this game. But I think the wide receiver position in this system is, and the plan is to keep the young talent and to keep next man up mentality, whether it be Schwartz, DPJ, Hollywood, the kid that's in the practice squad that they just re-signed that was smoking weed with Mike down in Florida and got a dirty urine or whatever. I don't know. That's just something that I heard. I don't want to say that the old man smoking bud with Browns wide receivers, but the kid had a suspension. I think I'm spitting on this one, Andy. I think our wide receivers on the Cleveland Browns are interchangeable in this system. I think it runs through the tight ends and the running backs before it does the wide receivers.
All right. Hot take alert. Jessica.
I think I'm going to go with sip on this one because even though I do agree with a lot of what Roger said, but I also feel that we've got a really good group of wide receivers, but I mean, they're the only ones to get the ball. It's very rare that we see a super deep pass. So, I mean, I think the ball gets spread around a lot. So I'm just going to sip on it.
All right. Fair enough. I am actually going to.
Good call, Jessica.
I'm going to chug on this one because I think, our wide receivers are great. They have not been featured. They are going to be. They're going to do amazing things this season. I cannot wait for it. You can't just run the ball. You can't just spread it to your tight ends. At some point, Kansas City playoff game proved you have to be able to throw downfield, which we couldn't do back then. We are going to be able to do that, and I think they can do that. They will do that, and it's going to be phenomenal when they do that. It's going to be the most fun we have as Browns fans. When Baker Mayfield starts throwing downfield to wide receivers, that's when this offense is going to just make us feel like we're chugging beers and having a good time. So I'm chugging on this one, 100%.
All right. You want to wager on that? You want to do a bet?
Yeah, I do want to wager on that. We're going to come up with a wager, obviously offline, and we'll make the term.
No.
And
I'm not betting you. I'll end up like Jacob saying that I love the Steelers, or end up with Nick. I'm not betting on anything. Hey, this guy will wager on anything. When he brings his daughter in to do the picks, he's like, "Would you like a juice box?" And she's like, "Yeah, Daddy." He's like, "Well, how about, would you like a juice box and a straw? Or would you like 2 juice boxes and no straws?" He'll wager on anything. He'll put anybody on the bet. And his daughter's like, "Well, give me 2 juice boxes. She got no straw." He will wager on anything. I'm not getting sucked in by you.
I got to teach her early. I don't know. All right. We're going to go to question 4. I think, let's see. We're going to start with you, Roger. Browns secondary made Tyrod look solid as he was continuously able to convert on third downs. Is the Browns defensive backfield sip-worthy? No, sorry. Spit-worthy. Oh my God. I'm going to start over. Actually, you know the bit. You just go with it.
Andy, I'm getting on the Browns defensive backfield. The only thing in the Browns defensive backfield that has me worried is, go ahead, what'd you say?
It's all
you guys hear him?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
That sounded good. Who popped a beer? That's beautiful. Andy, on the defensive backfield, you know who has me worried out of the whole entire defensive backfield is Denzel Ward. They took 13 targets on Denzel Ward, and there's been 10 receptions against him. I go with the defensive backfield because I believe in the safeties. I believe that when Joe Woods really implements his scheme, He's got his streak. Got him there like what last night what Jacob said. So I'm gonna chug on this.
All right, Jessica.
I'm going to do a more conservative sip on this one as well, only because I feel like the defensive back or the backfield has definitely improved over last year. Remember last year there were a lot of yards after catches and stuff. There's not as much of that this year, but they still need to get it together a little bit. So I'm going to do a more conservative sip.
Fair enough. It's on me now. I'm honestly very confident about the Browns defensive backfield, so I'm going to chug only because I think they've just been playing so conservatively. Like they're not trying yet. I think they'll get it together. I think they're going to be amazing. At least I hope so. But I'm going to chug because I believe in them. And we'll see if I'm right. Mike.
I'm going to go with Jessica on this. I'm going to have to sip. I still have to see more.
Hey,
no. I'm just calling it like I see it. I got to see more from them. I mean, but the part of it is I think it goes back to defensive line not getting enough pressures on the quarterbacks to have time to hurry their throws. It's all in that timing. Like you're saying, the quarterbacks are getting out that ball out a lot faster. I mean, I've seen enough times on Sunday Night Football when the Packers are on, and they even put a clock on Aaron Rodgers from the time of the snap to the time he throws. And that's the thing. These guys, they look at the weakness. They're going to say, yeah, the Browns secondary, you can throw on him. And he looked good on there until he got hurt. He looked solid. I mean, and let's be honest. He was throwing – I mean, you had Brandon Cooks there. Brandon Cooks is a hell of a wide receiver. So when Ward was watching, I don't know what Ward was doing. I think he had an off day because he should be able to hold up his own against Brandon Cooks. But I just still got to see more from him. I think if once you can get more pressures on the quarterback – because, I mean, I've seen in that game Sunday, they looked great on tackles for losses. I mean, they had Houston had a tough time running on us. But if you can get, and that's where it goes back to where I don't know if it was somebody said about pulling Clowney and Garrett back into coverage instead of just sending them in there to go after the quarterback, you'd have a different result. I mean, I think if you send the sink at him, I mean, just send. That's what you brought Clowney in for. That's what you got Miles for. Let him unleash him and let him go. Let them go after that quarterback. You hurry their throws off their timing, or you get somebody like Billings in there, or McDowell gets a big hand in there, smacks that ball. That thing's flipping in the air like a dying duck. Hey, it leaves it open for somebody like Delpit, Harrison, one of our linebackers, make a play, get an interception. There's a turnover. That's just how I see it. So until I see more, I'm going to have to sip.
I love it. By the way, Jessica, you have a big fan in Ed. He said, Jessica proves women are smart.
Because I said he looked sharp last week. That's why I got the compliment.
Maybe. Or maybe he was saying because you sipped on something that he believes in, which might help you out in a future question that you'll be asked, by the way. Anyway, I don't know. Unfortunately, we lost Roger, which
what happened?
Is crazy. Like to lose my co-host. How are we gonna move on? I guess we won't. We'll just sit here and wait for him to come back. That's how we do it on the Dog Jug. Anyway, we're actually going to Mike. Thank you so much for jumping on. It was amazing. I hope you.
Thank you for having me.
Hold on. Roger's calling me. Let's.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm actually just gonna hit the button and I'll put it on speaker. We'll see what he says.
Okay.
Maybe he'll say something. Hello. No, he hung up. Damn it. Oh, he's calling again. Here we go.
Technical difficulties.
Hello?
Andy, did you pay the engineers this week?
No. I forgot to pay.
Andy, I told them that you were going to pay them this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not my responsibility to pay the engineers. I mean, that's kind of a. We should both
I
have.
can see all three of you right now. I can see all three of you. I see you talking to me. Push a
Wait.
button or something. Get me back in here.
All right,
The
hold on.
engineers are out on their ass.
There he is.
I don't give a shit.
Firing them all.
Wait, where'd he go? Oh, here he is. Hold on. Okay, Roger.
This was
You
ground
hear it.
control and Major Tom.
I'm tired of Andy. Every time I call that union, they send me these fucking hole rats that sit around. They're lazy. I need some good people here.
Yeah, well, you've
We got a quality programming going on, and we have technical difficulties that uncalled for. We need better engineers. Now you see the top of my head.
It's a beautiful head, too.
It is a good one. All right. Mike, it's been so fantastic you jumped on. I cannot
I appreciate
wait to
it.
have you on again.
Thank you.
It's been great. I'm sorry that your first podcast had to be on this.
No, I loved it.
Well, I hope
I
you
absolutely loved it. I had a
appreciate
blast.
that.
I had a blast. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Roger. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
When you he dropped off again. Jesus. What is going on over there? When you come back on next time, we're gonna be huge. We're gonna have like 18 followers. So it's gonna be
I would love to be back. This was a lot of fun. I love talking football, especially Browns football with fellow fans.
You did.
That's the majority of my followers are Browns fans. I really don't want to try and I don't like. I'd rather just. I'm not big on interacting too much with too many of the other fan bases, just because you get some of these trolls that come in there and they just want to just shit on my team and my town, and after a while, I just don't. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put up with it. But yeah, I'd rather. I really had a great time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I'd love to be back.
We cannot wait to have you back on. It's going to be amazing. Great. We have like 8 people that are interested in us, so you'll probably be back on every other week, as far as I can tell. Oh, there's
me in.
All right. Hey, Roger, if you can hear me, say goodbye to Mike before you fall off again.
I can see you again. Where you at?
We were saying goodbye to Mike, so okay. I don't know where he's going. Anyway, all right, Mike. Thank you.
Andy, if you do a show with you more, just tell me. You don't need hanging up on me.
Yeah, well, I am hanging up on you, but that has nothing to do with me not wanting to do a show with you. It's just because I think it's hilarious to cut your feed and watch you panic. That's probably the funniest thing that could ever happen. Anyway, all right, Mike. We'll have you on again soon. Go Browns, and let's
Browns.
Hey, give us a score prediction against the Bears.
Oh, me? Yeah. Okay. Score prediction against the Bears?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 23-27 Browns.
Wow. So it's going to be a slight win. Okay. I'm going to put a bunch of money on the Bears with the points.
Okay. The Maverick is in the house.
I'm going to find you if it doesn't pay out. All right. Mike in the 3-3-0, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Mike. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming, Mike.
That was awesome. All right. Jessica, we brought you on. Sorry.
I know you.
Still, I said, hold on one second. Apologize. Trying to manipulate something. This is where I should just say, Rod, you take over for a second. But anyway, I want to ask you some questions, Jessica. Obviously, you are a Browns fan in Oklahoma.
That's correct.
Which is awesome.
I grew up in Ohio, though. I moved here in 2001.
2001. So, wow. So it's been 20 years. Wow.
20 years. Yeah. I moved. I went to a game right before I moved, and I don't remember any of it because we were in the dog pound and we were tailgating before that, and I don't even know who we played, to be honest with you. But
what were the circumstances behind you moving from Ohio to another state that started with an O?
You know, other people have joked about that as well. I moved with my I moved with my cousin because her family lived here. I'm like, that's cool. I've never lived anywhere else. Let's go there. So then right after that, her family moved away, and then she moved away, and here I was.
Wow.
I stayed.
You moved there and you got abandoned there immediately, just like Mike got abandoned at the Browns game when his cousin.
Basically. But hey, I'm doing fine now. Everything's good.
So you love it there. Would you ever move back there?
To Ohio? I mean, I could. Most of my I have some family that still lives there, but like my mom doesn't live there anymore, and my brothers don't live there anymore. So, I mean, my immediate family's not there. I still have a lot of college friends. I do plan on going back to visit at some point. Hopefully, I can go next year. It'd be cool to go to a game, actually, to see family and friends.
When was the last time you visited Cleveland?
It was actually the last time I went was when my dad died. That was in 2015. I'm not trying to bring it down. Just saying. It's the last time I went.
We've already brought the show down on multiple occasions.
2014.
That was probably, as weird as it sounds, that was probably the most upbeat the show's gotten in like the last hour. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I could get into all, I was sick. My dad and I both had cancer at the same time, and mine worked out fine. Well, worked out, I'm good. I'm still good. I'm here. His didn't work out as well, but I mean, it's hard to travel when you have all that junk going on. And then not long after that, my husband moved here. So,
nice.
Nice.
Obviously, Baker was made famous in your state.
Correct.
Do people in your community still care about Baker, or have they forgotten about him because every year Oklahoma has a great quarterback?
No, they talk about it, and I work for a bank here, and right after he was drafted, everyone's like, "Oh, you guys drafted Baker." I'm like, one, I don't really know who he is because I don't follow college football, and I said, "Well, we'll see what happens," because I've seen other promising quarterbacks go in, but I mean, I'm pretty happy about it now. And then there's some other people in the office that we've talked recently about it, and they're Browns fans because of Baker, which is cool. So
nice.
Nice.
That's very cool.
That is very cool. My most important question. You've got kids, yeah?
Yes, I have a son.
He's
5.
Five. So you must be the World of Warcraft fan, I'm guessing?
Yeah, that's actually where my husband and I met. We met on World of Warcraft.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I've played a lot of online games, but never World of Warcraft online. Sell us on why we should.
Well, I don't play as much anymore. It got a lot harder after I had a kid. I didn't really have all the time to devote into endgame stuff, like raiding, because everyone cares about that on this Browns podcast. But I know I met some cool people on there. I pretty much don't play with anybody anymore though, because I don't have time. So I do listen to podcasts now, and
so if you're
on Twitter,
looking to meet people or interact with people, then World of Warcraft is the thing for you. Otherwise, if you have a kid and you're busy, do podcasts, Cleveland podcasts. That's
right.
That's
basically what's going on anymore.
All right.
Basically, yes.
I can appreciate that. Were you ever on a World of Warcraft podcast?
No. No. This is my first podcast, actually.
Nice. Well, you're doing phenomenal.
Thank you.
We told Mike he was doing great, but I mean, you're doing so much better.
Is he not still listening? You can't do that.
Yeah, no,
You just said he was going to be here like every other week. How are you going to tell him I'm better?
I'm completely being an asshole. Like, you were phenomenal. Jessica, you're also phenomenal. I'm just trying to be funny, which I'm never funny. Roger, help me out. Say something.
You know what? I know some people. I met some people once. This is about 20 years ago, Oklahoma. And, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you. You're doing great.
Okay. You know, Jessica, there's some things. My biggest post on Twitter, my biggest tweet was like over 2,000, right? Half of them were Oklahoma fans. they just blew up my Twitter. They love Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. You know,
Oh, college
are
is
you
big.
close to where are you? Pardon?
College football is huge here. Between Oklahoma State and OU,
I
it's
can.
huge.
One of the things I want to do in life is not only I want to travel. I want to go to Oklahoma. You know, and I knew some people that were from Oklahoma I met years ago. Andy, but there's some things that I really need to know about Oklahoma. You know, if I go there, I don't want to be disappointed.
You're not gonna start asking me crime questions,
So
are you? 'Cause I didn't prepare for that.
I'm going to ask you, and you tell me if these are the things I can look forward to. And does the wind really come sweeping down the plains in Oklahoma?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does.
Windy as hell here.
I got to go. Andy, does the waving wheat sure smell sweet? Winds come right behind the rain. Is that true?
I live in town. I live in Tulsa, like in the city, so I'm not really around any wheat. But I would
There's no
imagine that
wheat.
it's also accurate. I would imagine that's
Where
also
would I
accurate.
go if I want to smell wheat waving in the wind and smelling sweet after the rains in Oklahoma? Where would I want to go if I go to Oklahoma? Where would be the ideal place? What town?
I would imagine. I don't know about town, but you probably want to go west. West
Oh,
a little bit north. I would say northwest part of the state,
oh,
probably.
okay. I'm there. I'm going to wear spurs that jingle. I want to go to Oklahoma. I knew these people like 20 years ago, and I was like, Oklahoma sounds so freaking cool. And without a doubt, you said something today on Twitter about show tunes with Ed. My wife told me that I was a gay man in a past life because I love show tunes. I sing show tunes. I love them. And Oklahoma, when I was a little kid, I just was fascinated. One day it was on TV. I was just fascinated. PBS. And ever since then, I've wanted to go to Oklahoma. And I don't know. I don't know why. It's just one of them places in life. People want to go to the Caribbean. People want to go to Bahamas. I want to go to fucking Oklahoma and smell wheat after it rains, Andy. That's one of my things in life. That's on my bucket list. Hey, you're back.
I am back.
Right.
I had one more question, Jessica, before we get to the game. You recently had the amazing experience of going to the Kansas City Browns tailgate and game. How was it?
It was pretty cool. I mean, I haven't been to a game for so long. Yes, Ed, it's okay. um, it was pretty. I mean, it was cool. It was by cool. I don't mean the temperature because it was like 90 freaking degrees, so that was not cool. But it was really neat. Like the parking lot was crazy. There were very few Browns fans, but every time you saw one, you would cheer at them and shout. And I did go to the Nats tailgate area, so that was cool. That they were there, and our seats were good. I don't think there's a bad seat there. It was pretty nice seats, and it was actually a really good game. I mean, I know we lost, but it was a good game. Aside from some douchebags sitting right behind me, it was great.
Oh, geez, what happened with the?
Getting a fisticuff with them?
No, but thankfully,
Did you throw down with them?
No, I had to bite my tongue a couple times actually, because I could be kind of abrasive sometimes. But
So what were they?
You never want top row.
Right, and you don't want to be the one
If
that
you get
hits
into a
the
fight,
second.
Jessica, if you get into a fight at a football game, you don't want to fight with somebody below you in the, how to stand. You're going to get dragged down, get your ass kicked. You want to be the guy, get in a fight with people behind you. Because if you're the guy up top, they're just going to drag you down and you get caught in the chairs and you get your ass kicked. So some advice. So you didn't get the pummel as a City fans or nothing? You didn't get the cuffs or nothing?
No, but we had our 5-year-old with us, and he had his little, his noise canceling headphones on because it's way too freaking loud in there for like anything. He's like loud noises anyway. It was insane. But there were a couple times, I expected people to be passionate about watching the game. I expected some swearing. I didn't expect some guy to just say like "suck my dick" for no reason. I gave him the mom look. He's like, "Oh, sorry." I know you guys have all seen it. You've seen the look.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So what were they? What were they doing?
They were just bitching. Somebody would randomly say Baker sucks. The one that really made me mad though, and I really had to bite my tongue because, I'm that person. They were just talking about some pass interference call. They're like, well, they didn't call it pass interference call. It's really obvious. And I want to be like, you mean like the helmet to helmet call last year? But I'm like, you know what? Let's just not say anything. Let's just. But there were about 20 other Browns fans near us, and there was a guy that was abrasive in that group that was abrasive enough for like all of us. So they just kind of bickered back and forth with those guys. So.
Wow. Well,
the one thing you should have told them is we went into their house. We played vanilla defense. We played dinky. They haven't seen anything yet. Kansas City's they're in for a surprise when they Cleveland Browns
they're going
again.
down. They're going down. When we see them, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. It's time to play our game because we're getting late into the show.
Can I show you my old pennant real quick, though? My old cool pennant that used to hang up on my wall a million years ago at home.
Oh,
wow.
Signed and everything.
Who's it signed by?
I had to look it up because I
it?
didn't remember. I was like 9 years old. It was Jeff Gossett was one of them, and Mark Mosley, and Scott Nicholas, I believe, was the other one. It said 58, and that's the only one that matched the S. I looked at the roster yesterday. So, because my dad used to take us to training camps when we were kids, so getting out there in the hot sun.
I take my daughter to training camp. Just can't wait for COVID to go away so I can do that more often.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Anyway, all right,
that's an awesome piece.
Game. Basically, it is an awesome piece. I am going to apologize in advance. This is probably a harder game than the previous 2 weeks, so do your best, obviously.
Great.
We're going to bring on, and by the way, I apologize, but for some reason when I record video, it's pink. It doesn't really matter, though. Okay, I'm here with the great Ed in Columbus. What's going on, Ed? What's going on?
Not much, man. Living the dream. Living the dream.
Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna play exactly what I told Ed, and then I'm gonna ask him a question in the video, and then I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna tell you what the game is. Okay.
Okay.
And by the way, the rules: if you get 3 out of 5 right, you are going to be entered into a drawing from all the winners throughout the first season of the Dog Chug.
Cool.
To be able to win the chance to come sit with me and Roger at the Browns-Bengals game. And I understand you live far away, so if you can't make it and you don't want to come sit with us, because we're kind of creepy, I understand. We will auction off the ticket, and whatever money we get, you will get that cash.
Oh,
you'll get to split it 50-50 with me. No.
Cool.
Oh,
cool.
No,
I don't think that was part of the. That wasn't part of that disclosure that I read before the show.
No,
so.
100%.
Sorry.
Yeah. Roger's been trying to fight me on that, but it's 100%. All right. So listen very carefully, because as I describe to Ed the rules, maybe you'll pick something out of whatever. Here we go.
We like here at the Dog Chug.
So very quick. I only need you for about 10 minutes. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and explain to yourself and answer them however Ed would answer.
Awesome. What do you need a lifeline?
All right. Question. Before I question, I want to point out that I'm drinking a lab because I really didn't taste it.
It's a little echoey, just so you know.
Yes. Sorry about that. I have to mute myself. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to mute myself. I'll unmute.
If you want me to win, I got to be able to hear everything.
In case you were wondering, it's 13.1% alcohol. So.
Well, it's
all right.
Fucking engineers.
Is Baker Mayfield capable of being an MVP candidate, or is he going to be a guy that leads a deep playoff run every season, but gets taken in the 7th round of fantasy drafts? Okay, so here's the question. Ed's going to give his answer. You have to decide. Did Ed answer that question using more than 125 words or less than 125 words? And if you need, I will replay the question.
I'm going to say more. I've watched Ed. I'm going to say more.
Now let me make sure. Okay, I've got the answers here. So I'm gonna play his answer, and then I will tell you exactly how many words he used, and we'll see if you're right. I'm gonna mute myself while I play, obviously, the audio.
Baker will lead many deep playoff runs. Unlike Bernie in the late 80s, it will culminate in a Super Bowl championship for Cleveland. I think under the Stefanski system, however, he won't be the Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers MVP caliber type player because he doesn't have to be. We run the football, and that's how we're going to win with Baker not making mistakes. And, hey, when you win, and we're going to win with Baker Mayfield.
That seems short.
That was 80 words.
Oh, damn.
So right now,
Ed.
you are 0 for 1.
All right, that's fine. It's fine.
But we're going to come back. Right?
It's
Right,
fine.
Roger?
It's fine. I got more questions. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Oh, and sorry, there might be a little bit of interaction between me and Ed before we get to question number 2. Wow. We're going to win with Baker Mayfield. So you're saying my MVP bet on Baker was a waste of money?
You're probably not going to win that if you chose that he was going to win it, yes.
All right. Question 2. Does the Browns' defensive backfield need to be playing more aggressive, or is there a plan? Okay, Jessica.
A lot of pressure.
Okay.
I don't know if he says verbose on defense. I'm going to say less. We'll see. I'll
Less.
probably be wrong. I'm going to go with less on this time.
All right. Roger, what do you think about less?
Andy, I think there's a plan. I think there's a plan in place, and I think that they're.
Holy shit. Thank you, Roger. That was exactly what I was asking. All right, here we go.
I got 4 screens up.
I think the plan is for them to get acclimated with themselves. I think that with Delpit coming in there for the first time on Sunday, I think that we need to get more pressure on the quarterback from the defensive line. And I think that we're playing off the ball against Houston, making it look like we were playing soft because of, different injuries and different things like that. So I think that by playing aggressive, I think that they will, but I think that they need to get more pressure up front for that to happen. Until then, you're going to see some vanilla defenses from the secondary.
And that was 111 words, so you got that one right. 1 and 1.
Nice.
1 and 1. All right. You are well on your way to winning this contest and giving yourself a chance to come to the Browns game with me and Roger, or getting like $80. All right, here we go. All right. Love it. Sorry. Okay, question 3. Despite a host of injuries, the Ravens offense looked pretty elite Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs with a signature win. Pretty much all on the back of Lamar Jackson. Is this offense sustainable? Okay, Jessica, what do you think? Will it be over 125 words or under 125 words? Will it pontificate, or will he get to the point?
I'm really hoping Ed doesn't have a lot to say about the Ravens, so I'm going to say under.
Under.
I really want to hear all about the Ravens, so.
Roger, what do you think?
Under.
Roger. Roger, you there? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Oh, I just got you back in. You were frozen green. I don't know if Ed can go through a McDonald's drive-through and order a fucking chicken McNugget Happy Meal without going under 125 words. I'm going to say over.
Roger, I love you, man. All right, let's find out if Jessica's right or if Roger is right.
Well, we keep saying that it's not, and he keeps doing what he's doing. I think long term, meaning like, I don't know, maybe 7 to 10 years. It's not. But I think in the not too distant future, unfortunately, in our little playoff run that we're going to go on in the next 4 to 5 years, I think that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will be one of those teams that we have to overcome every year, just like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But I think that, we have the one thing that will stop them, both of those teams, and that's an offense ourselves. We control the football. We score a lot of points. I think that the Browns, it's a bend, don't break defense. Get turnovers in opportune times. And just like they did in the playoff game against Kansas City last year, that's why we were in that game, because we got turnovers. And I think that that's the way to beat them. You got to get turnovers. They're going to move the ball between the 20s, but that's how we win. And I think yes.
All right. Okay. That was 195 words. So that was over. Roger.
I'm like, damn it, he's still talking.
All right, so in your room, you're 1 and 2. All you gotta do is get the next 2 right, and this
Okay.
is golden.
Right.
So let's focus in. Maybe ask Roger for help next time. You do have him as a lifeline.
Okay.
As many times as you want him. All right, let's hear question.
Can I message Ed and ask him?
Probably.
He could be my lifeline.
I don't know if I would trust him. I think he's.
Oh, that's right. He won last week, didn't he?
He did. He wants you to lose, obviously. All right. Let's hear question number 4. Right. That was a mouthful. By the way, the Vlad is not very good. It's like kind of a mix of porter and bum wine.
Okay.
Probably not going to be getting their sponsorship anytime soon. All right. Question number 4. Explain why there is so much disrespect and bullying towards women on social media, and especially Twitter, and what, if anything, can be done about it. Ooh.
I'm going to say he's probably going to use more than 125 words, because I think it'd be hard to not. I could probably use more than 125 words just telling you that he's going to use more than 125 words. So,
all right.
So
you're saying over.
A lot.
All right. We got the over. Roger, what do you think?
Adam, it's got to be an over. I agree with Jessica. There's no way that you can sum that up in 125 words or less. Ed's going to go over.
All right. Let's find out if you are both right.
That arises from insecurity of males who feel that females are stepping into their territory. And just like at the workplace, this has happened. It's happening now in football and on Twitter, and because obviously Twitter is a big part of football and the social media aspect. And basically, it's just guys that think they know more than women because it's that old kind of Stone Age attitude. And what can be done is guys sticking up for women and saying, "Hey, look, you're an idiot. This is a bad take." And they'll go away. I mean, you got to take care of the trolls. But I think these women, hey. I don't think they need a knight in shining armor. A lot of these women on Twitter, they're very good, and they can stick up for themselves, and they come back with witty comeback. So, hey, us guys, and we got to know that and understand that these women, they're strong women, and they got strong attitudes and the right opinions, and they can handle their own sometimes.
And you're 2 and 2.
Woo!
One more, and you are in victory lane.
Thanks, Ed. That was a good take. I'm not just saying because there's a lot of words. It was a good take.
It was a good take. Ed is amazing, and I think he was right on about a lot of what he said. All right, let's hear question number 5, and we'll determine, does Jessica get in the entry? Let's find out. This is going to be amazing. That sounds great. So we need to call them out, and am I hearing penis enlargement surgery?
Absolutely. Yes, that's exactly. Yes.
All right. Question number 5. As of last night, Ed in Columbus had 727 Twitter followers, while your beautiful wife, Kelly is the best, had 1,706. Please explain in your own words the discrepancy.
Well,
ooh, that's tough.
We already got one word.
Hopefully he counts that one. The other words I can get. I feel like he's gonna come up with some BS answer, so I'm gonna go over.
Over. Roger, what do you
I'm
think?
gonna say over.
I think Ed should say 2 words right now. He should say, yes, dear, and that's it.
So would you guess under, or do you think Ed's going to go over?
I think Ed should go under and say, yes, dear, does the garbage need to be taken out and stop? But I know Ed won't, so I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going under. I'm going to go with Ed, and he has the smarts to keep his mouth shut, and
So you
I'm under.
You think Jessica's going to lose this game?
I mean, if I lose, I lose. It's fine. It could be a moral victory. It'll be fine.
All right.
Is that what everyone likes to say now? Moral victory? Jacob's favorite?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I want everybody to know it's up to 732 as of right now.
That was a
So
garbage
we're
answer
slowly
anyway
closing
already.
the gap here a little bit. But the only thing I can say is she did join Twitter a couple years before I did. But, you know, it goes to the old adage. I think that, you know, she's kicking my butt, and I got to hand it to her, you know. She knows her stuff, too. It's like, you know, I think she's a beautiful lady, but also she's got great opinions, just like the women, you know, that we were talking about earlier in your other questions. So, hey, more power to her. Congratulations. And but I'm gaining ground. And, you know, in about 100 years, maybe I'll surpass her.
Wow. Well, I gotta say that was 139 words, so you
Was it
win.
really? Woo!
Yeah.
I didn't think it was enough. Awesome. I need to follow his wife, actually. I don't follow his wife. Sorry, Ed.
Oh, Kelly,
I'm gonna give her one more
Kelly
follower.
at the best is amazing. We're actually going to give you one more question, even though you already won. Let's see how you would have done with the bonus question. Well, I cannot wait to fast forward 100 years and see who's in the lead. All right, we have one bonus question just in case something goes awry. So, question number 6.
Under. There's no question. What's the question?
This Sunday, how do the Cleveland Browns beat the Chicago Bears?
Over. Just keep playing it. It's over.
Over? Roger, what do you think?
If he's at 220 when he stops, I'm going to be fucking shocked. Over.
All right, let's find out. What would happen had Jessica gotten to the bonus? Look, this game was so hard. I was absolutely going to give you the bonus question if you weren't there to give you one more chance. So let's see if that would have helped or not.
Run the football. Period.
Oh my God, I hope she didn't say over on that one. All right. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Ed in Columbus, everybody.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go Browns.
Go
Go Browns.
Okay, great. Ed in Columbus. Oh, jeez. Okay. Wow. All right. So you won.
Honestly, I think I enjoyed that better than the other one that you do. I thought that was fun. Trying to guess how many words he would use.
Yeah.
Did he know that's what you were doing?
Well, he did kind of get a sense because Roger did post something on Twitter that gave him kind of a clue. But I never confirmed it. I just said, answer the questions as you would. And yeah, he did great. Right?
He did. It was fun. It was a fun quiz.
It was fun. My God. So you're the third winner. You're in the draw. It's going to be phenomenal.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on here. I'm assuming you guys are wrapping up now since it'll be going on for like an hour, 45 minutes.
We always go way too long.
It's fun though. This is fun.
I hope. I appreciate that you said that. Thank you. Roger, I want you to get a chance to tell everyone that you appreciate them.
Jessica, first of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank Mike and the 3-0 for coming on tonight. You know, today we started, promo tweets out of our podcast tonight, and these are some of the people. These are the people that liked it and shared it and retweeted it. Mike Moon, Reed Baker, Memphis Brown fan, KT, Pamela, Anonymous, DLE. That's the D4, that's Dogs for Life. If you guys see that, hashtag D4L, Dogs for Life. There's good people in there. People that I don't really see anymore on Twitter because I see, like, now with 1,700 followers, I see a bunch of commercial stuff, and a lot of the DL4s were the people that we got Extra Crispy, Brian Garvey, Zach Martin, Buckeye Jarvis, Browns fan down under, our boy Mick with that has poisonous toads, hopping all over the place down in Australia, killing people. KT Pamela, Anonymous T4L, man, everybody, Nick Carnes, Jacob Roach, everybody, Colin, Ed in Columbus, Dennis Montepenny, Austin, Andy, you're on here. Just Roundhouse Right, D4L, Todd McCarthy, everybody that retweeted today, people that support us. We just here to have a good time, and we appreciate you. And thank you for coming out tonight, Jessica. It's been up to meet you.
It was fun. It was nice to meet you guys.
No more fucking DM rooms. No more. Can't keep that. She started one today. She wanted to invite me to one twice. She told Nick, invite him twice. I can't keep up. I don't want no more DMs.
All right, stop DMing Roger, everyone. All right, well, anyway, thank you for everyone, Mike and Jessica, Roger. It's been amazing. I hope this was our best show yet. I'm pretty sure we're gonna top it next week. It's gonna be hard, obviously, but we're gonna do it. So thank you, everyone. If you got some beer, let's do a little chug. Let's go Browns. We gotta beat the Bears.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
We really shaved some time off this week.
Yeah, we sure did.
I think we went 2 fucking hours. Hey, go Browns.
Yeah, whatever.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.